What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the CUFC YouTube channel. It is a later upload than usual. I do apologise. You know, life just sometimes gets in the way. But our EFL status is over. Carlisle United have ended the season. Our horrific season is done. It is over. We're officially a National League side. But some good news, at least Salford is still a League 2 side. That draw at the weekend, Carlisle 2, Salford 2, did mean, ironically enough, that Mark Hughes, Man United legend, had cost the Legends of 92 their chance at the playoffs. And you know what? I wasn't bothered if Salford got it or not. I know a lot of people were very happy about it, but I'm chuffed for Chesterfield. I really am. When we went down on that Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whichever one it was, you know, everyone was so spot on. They were so hospitable to us all. You know, talking to some of their fans and their experiences in the National League, and everyone was so welcoming and just amazing. So I'm really glad that Chesterfield have got the playoffs. And you know what? Go smash it, lads. I hope that you do go up. But Carlisle's perspective, our EFL status is over. We bottled the lead, unfortunately, to be, you know, cynical, but we did, and it's not the first time. But under Mark Hughes, that run, it's one defeat in 9 home games, so we're making Brunton Park a bit more of a fortress that we needed to be. Every club needs our home ground to be a fortress in a way. But before we get into the full match day review, I don't think it's going to be a very long one because the game was meaningless at the end of the day. But I just wanted to say a massive thank you to anybody who has supported this channel, whether that be this season, last season, the last 18 months of just rubbish on the pitch. A massive thank you. But this last 12 months especially, you know, the channel's hit numbers that are absolutely ridiculous. Of course, the channel appeals to Carlisle United fans only, unless it's a whole video about the Pacific League we're in. But 9 out of 10 times it is a Carlisle 5-minute preview. It is a Carlisle United match day predictions. The Carlisle catch-up, new episode coming this week, so stay tuned for that. Selfish little plug there. But it's only about Carlisle United, and at the end of the day, that does mean that the numbers are limited to what you can appeal to. But the numbers are incredible. They consistently, week on week, just get better and better. You know, we were at a spell in that sort of 5-game unbeaten run where we were averaging 900 views a video. For 4, 5, 6 videos straight. There was once where we were getting 20,000 views in the space of 5 or 6 videos, which is incredible to think about. You know, we hit 2,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mental. I don't know what to say, and you'll never understand how much I appreciate the support on the channel. It's incredible. You know, when people come and talk to me at a match, when you know, talk to people on Instagram, which, you know, I might be bad at replies on Instagram if you ever spoke to me on there, but there is a lot of you that message me on Instagram, so sometimes it just gets lost with the sheer amount of messages I get, which is ridiculous to even say. But all the support, whether it's a like, a comment, a subscribe, whether it was you watched one video and then never came back, thank you for coming though. Thank you for the support. It's unbelievable. I'm not sure what the channel holds for next season, if I'm going to be honest. It's going to be difficult with some of the teams that we'll be playing, some of the places that we will be going and stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm just a Carlisle fan like yourself watching this video. I just sometimes talk into a microphone about Carlisle United and then put a video together. So thank you very much. Really, thank you very much. But shall we talk about Carlisle United? Because that went on a little bit too long, didn't it? Carlisle 2, Salford 2 was the final result at the weekend. Carlisle started, well, they won the back foot. I thought Salford started really well, but Carlisle, 2 very quick fire goals from ourselves And it was good to see. I know a lot of people said that you should have played the youth players or whatever, but it was nice to give certain players a send-off when they came off. You know, for example, Sean Facira got a really nice send-off when he got substituted. You know, Kadeem Harris got a very lovely send-off. It was great to talk to him after the game. A really, really nice person, but what a football player. I know his numbers aren't fantastic, but he's got something there, and you know, I'm gutted that we probably won't see Kadeem Harris in the Carlisle shirt again. But it was nice to give them a send off, and then you know, I'm not. This is not facts. Obviously, Fasira and Kadeem Harris are both either going back to a parent club or out of contract. But you know, Callum Guy could have been his final appearance at Carlisle United. Sam Lavelle, people like that. So it was nice to give some people a send off, and I thought. It's good from a Mark Hughes perspective because we've finally got that bit of consistency in the team and you're starting to see consistent results. Yes, there was a few, you know, the Doncaster game was a bit wild and stuff, you know, but we're consistently playing decent football. Unfortunately, we did bottle a 2-goal lead yesterday, but Salford really had something to play for and we didn't. But I thought overall, it was a good game of football. It was a good mid-table League 2 game of football. From a Salford perspective, their team coach arrived at 2:05. Now, that's ridiculous for a professional football game. So if you're ever wondering as a Salford fan, because you are massive everywhere you go, I am told, that you know, you can't be shown up to a professional game of football 50-odd minutes before kick-off. That is ridiculous. That's probably why you don't have a lot of consistency. But not talking about Salford, looking at Carlisle, 2 great goals from Carlisle's perspective to take an early lead against the playoff hopeful Salford. Cole Stockton should have made it 1-0. He had an opportunity, he came to him at the back post, and Gabe Rees put a great save. If he just put a bit more power in the shot, then Carlisle United are 1-0 down. But great save from Gabe Rees there. And then there's some brilliant play from Carlisle United. It's a brilliant first goal from Carlisle. There's a really good play from Georgie Kelly to keep the ball in on the wing. He plays the ball down the wing to Sean Fasai, who plays it back, and Stephen Wern's there to put the ball into the back of the net. And Stephen Wern is a player that I'm really looking forward to next season. He seems to be flourishing week on week in a Carlisle shirt. He's playing some really good football, and he seems to be that man. If the ball ends up at the edge of that box, and it's something that I've said for a while with Carlisle, you know, especially last season, not as much this season, but we never had that man on the edge of the box ready for that second opportunity. Stephen Wern's that man. He's always lurking around the edge of the box, and he does have a good finish on him. It was great to see him get a goal. And I know a few Gateshead fans had said about Stephen Wern, once he gets confident, he's a great player. So I really, really hope that this keeps going with Stephen Wern, and the confidence just builds and builds and builds. But a great goal from him, a great goal from Carlisle, great team goal from Carlisle. And then there was another one that was brilliant play from Jack Ellis, who can either say Jack Ellis has went, you know what, I've got a contract to play for, this is what I can do, give me a new contract. Because he's been fantastic under Mark Hughes. You know, he was shut out under Williamson, but he's been brilliant under Hughes. The crosses and everything, just being brilliant, but brilliant play from him to keep it alive. He gets the ball across, he just runs through like the entire Salford team, gets fouled a couple of times and just keeps going and going and going. He gets the ball into the box, and I was going to say Tristan Dennis again, and Matty Dennis with the tap in for Carlisle to make it 2-0, and you're thinking, oh my god, Carlisle just got twice in 90 seconds or whatever it was. Unfortunately, Salford did score right at the right time, didn't they? Just before half time, they get that comfortable lead, the killing Carlisle's lead, I should say. The free kick comes in, and Cole Stockton just reacts quicker than anybody else, gets in front of his man, and then heads the ball into pretty much an empty net. Breeze is like a statue, and then Stockton just gets the header and puts it into the back of there. A real striker's finish, to be fair, from Stockton. I imagine that's a bit of a Georgie Kelly goal there. But then there was some quick feet from their lad who gets it into the box. And to be fair to him, he looks like he's just about to sort of, curl it into the far corner, but he just taps it in. Not taps it in, but just passes it in the left-hand side instead of going to the right-hand side, which Gabriel's probably predicted it was going to the right because he set his body as if he's going for that curling effort, but then just passed it into the back of the net to give Salford that 2-2. But Carlisle held on from that point. It's a shame we couldn't hold on from the 2-0 up, but to end on a draw, to end how we've been playing, hopefully we can keep that momentum going into the National League, and hopefully it's a very short stay in the National League, although I do think it will be difficult to get out of, but that is a topic of conversation for another day. But hopefully we can keep that momentum going. We can start the season strong. For me, I don't really care if Mark Hughes gets the job or not, but what I would say, he's got the fans on board. 7,000 Cumbrians, 8,000 altogether yesterday. At the end of the game, they're chanting Mark Hughes' Blue-White Army. The fans are on board with Hughes. They were on board with Simo. They never got on, they were on board with Simo at first, obviously. But they were never on board with Williamson, and it never worked. They are on board with Mark Hughes. Keep that man on that touchline next season. But in saying that, I also wouldn't really be bothered if he did go. But I don't think there's anyone better at the moment than Mark Hughes. I would love John Brady. I've made that very clear. Don't think that's going to happen. But I would keep Mark Hughes because you want to start that next season in a good run of form. What's the word? What am I looking for here? You want the fans on side. You want that first game of the season next year against, I don't know, let's just say Ebbsfleet. I don't even know if they're in the National League. Carlisle against Ebbsfleet. It's at Brunton Park. You want Brunton Park packed. Mark Hughes' Blue-White Army. The crowd's going. It's a new squad, hopefully. The people want to get behind. The people want to fight for. That Callum Whelan interview, absolutely fantastic at the end of the game. Just give us something to fight for and to come together with. First game of the season, get 8,000 at Brunton Park. Go play someone off the park, win 2-3-0. The fans are then up for it. That's what we need, and that's why I would keep Mark Hughes in charge. None of this Rob Elliott crack that I'm hearing about, please. Please stop going for Gateshead, people. We do not need to fund Gateshead anymore. But anyway, finish off on the game. George Kelly had a great opportunity. He went for a one-on-one, tries to dink it over the keeper. The keeper actually saved it and pushed it wide. And then other than that, Salford hit the post, I believe, but there wasn't a lot in the game. Carlisle held on for that 2-2. And there you go. Boom. It's finished. What a dreadful season. What a dreadful season. I've got a couple of mates who I live with at uni. They came down into league. They came to a League One game with us, and it was their first time ever seeing Carlisle United, etc. And it was the Reading game, I think, where we got beat 3-1. And when they were in Carlisle with me and we were in the house, they would watch Carlisle with me. They were invested in the club in the time that they were there, and I had said to him, because he said after relegation, is it going to get better? And I had said the words, I said, I think we'll be absolutely fine in League Two. It can't get any worse. And then he texted me a few weeks ago and he went, oh, it got worse, didn't it? And I was like, yeah, it has. But this is it. This is the rebuild. Anyone in the club, it needs to start as sooner rather than later. But yes, thank you so much for all the support this year. Thank you so much to every single one of you who supported this channel in whatever way possible. As I say, what the future holds for the channel next season, I've got absolutely no idea. But stay tuned. Carlisle catch-up coming later on this week. I'm not sure when, but it will be coming out later this week, so stay tuned for that as well. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much for all the support once again. I have been CUFC, and I'll see you later on this week.